So what do we do about this? How do we rewire that wiring?
Yeah, so it's not rewired with surgery.
Or opiates.
Or opiates, right.
Yeah,
opiates won't rewire. In fact, opiates may actually perpetuate that, something called opiate-induced hyperalgesia.
Good God, my head is exploding with all these terms.
So, I know, right? So
I don't know how you do it. You went to school for it. Theater major over here. My brain's exploding. Go on.
Well, this is theater too. I'm making it up as I go along.
Okay,
no, I'm
good.
kidding. But opiate-induced hyperalgesia is where you have opiates that induce something hyperalgesia. Hyperalgesia is this hyper, a lot, and algesia is pain.
Yeah.
So it makes the pain feel worse. The theory behind that is, the more opiates you take, the more pain receptors that are sort of blocked. Your body then sort of says, hey, we need to produce more pain receptors or make the ones that we have more sensitive. And then that domino effect occurs. But that doesn't necessarily mean that opiates are always bad or that opiates shouldn't be prescribed. You got to remember that some of these patients have done a lot of these options, surgery or whatever.
Well, when I had my son, C-section, I didn't exactly want a foot massage.
Right.
You need something that's going to kill the pain.
Right.
Right. But then after that was over, then you stop and then you go on with your life.
And because you're lucky.
Right.
I hope that people understand that you're lucky. You're lucky your brain recognized that the problem stopped, and you're lucky that those neurons reverted back to their original state. And you have no control over that. That's the scariest part of it all. Nobody has control over whether that happens. Nobody chooses to be a chronic pain patient.
Really?
I hope not.
Yeah, right.
I mean, nobody chooses that, right? I mean, it's horrible. It's like being consistently tortured, inside your body. And most people would love to never be on any medications, never. But what do you do when you've exhausted the traditional options? You've had your surgery and you've had this and you've had that, and you're still writhing in pain. So that's where opiates can be an option. It doesn't mean that everyone should be on it. There's definitely over-prescribing of opiates, and there's irresponsible opiate prescribing. For example, I've said this publicly for many years. I think I'm the only fellowship-trained, board-certified anesthesia pain doctor in America who has never prescribed OxyContin or oxycodone or Percocet or anything that oxycodone family, because I don't believe in that molecule. That molecule is incredibly addictive, has very high likability. It has something called a very high dopaminergic response. So that means that dopamine is that feel-good sort of chemical, and it releases a lot of that. And so people take it because it makes them feel good. But the purpose of pain management is not to feel good. It's to be more functional.
Right. So and that opioid doesn't make you very functional, does it?
There's actually data to show that there are other opiate medications that have improved function more than that molecule has. And so they're not all the same. I gave someone actually this morning, I was doing, actually, believe it or not, another interview, and I used this example with that gentleman, and I said, if you lump all opiates into the same category, that's like lumping all food into the same category. So it's kind of like saying, hey, I've got a healthier, well-balanced meal, and that's better than your fast food.
Biggie fries.
Yeah, we won't mention any names from any corporations, but probably better to go with the other one. So, but right now the debates are no food at all or all the burgers you can eat.
Right.
It's like,
but you're seeing some success with some opiates that are not as addicting as, say, OxyContin or Percocet or the other ones you were mentioning.
You see less hyperalgesia, you see less of a dopaminergic response, and you see more function. You see less side effects with more function. But again, not to sort of shoehorn this into just that one conversation. The whole goal of this conversation in terms of opiates is to say there are many options, and we have to just look at the patients individually. There has to be more education. We have to look at those patients individually and look at the global picture of those patients, not just what opiate is appropriate, but again, going back to that mind, the body, the holistic, multidisciplinary, and multimodal approach to taking care of that patient. Some patients really need more than Advil or acetaminophen to feel better.